Pretty dark that the family of a U.S. crew member who died has to run a GoFundMe to support his wife and 3 kids while Trump's son-in-law is out raising $5 billion in the Middle East. I would say that is pretty dark. And I would say darker still, I bet he don't raise what Shiloh Hendricks did. I bet he don't. If they just did the GoFundMe just on fresh, pure racism, give and go. Fresh, pure racism, it would clear. It would definitely clear. Oh no, it's dark. It is extremely dark. This dark. Hey! Not that dark.
Brother,
Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee. Oh, you want to go first? Okay, you got it.
Loomer, you made a statement. If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and speeches will be facilitated via a call center. You then went on to say our country was built by white Europeans, not third world invaders from India. I think you should do more than just express regret. From what I can see, you're brazenly racist and Islamophobic. And I'm sorry to say that we have Atiti Devo Bhava in this country where we welcome all, but your comments smack of anti-Indianism, worse still, Islamophobia, and even worse, racism, which has no place, ma'am, in today's world.
I'm pretty sure his fofo makes sure all your kids can't grow. I'm pretty sure. I heard him yell West Side in the middle of that. I definitely heard him yell West Side. Laura Loomer, far-right activist who said she speaks frequently with President Trump, was publicly challenged in New Delhi by Indian journalist Rajdeep Sardesai on Saturday over her past anti-India posts and remarks about Islam during a session at the India Today Conclave 2026. That was my one note. That's why I can't go higher than a 9.0. I raised the 9.0 sign. And it can't go higher than a 9 out of 10 because he kept apologizing. Ain't no need to apologize, Rajdeep. Ain't no need to apologize. Her racism be too intentional. Need I remind you? We got receipts. Silly white people, stop watching Boy Meets World and turn on Bollywood so you can watch culture. Steal your job culture. Our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third world invaders from India. You know, it was white Europeans who created the American dream, and we didn't create it so they could be exploited by pro-open border techies like you. P.S. Why are people in India still pooping in the water they bathe and drink from? Is she talking about, did she send that directly to Vivek? Was that for Vivek? Well, because I know that'd be in his mentions. Oh, okay. Keep reading. Yes! Also, you didn't think I was going to let you get away with her saying our country was built by white Europeans, did you? You just going to slide that into the Indian racism video? It was built by white. We not on that? We never on that. Okay, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. India does have running water. It just runs out of people's... Well, at least she's willing to admit when she's wrong. It's also kind of interesting that will be front of mind for her. That's the first 2 out of 3. That's where we at with it. So, sound like somebody tweeting in the bathroom. That's what it sound like.
I think that.
High-skilled immigrant doesn't have running water or toilet paper. LMAO. She really big on her running water. She grew up in the trenches. Her parents did what? The average IQ in India is 76, best and brightest. And in response to, just curious, is that water clean? Nope, the invaders drink from the same water they bathe and poop in. I have that on video too. Coming to a city near you. Yeah, she batted a solid 50% on poop tweets for India. So we definitely know where those came from. That would have been a fairly high average for the World Baseball Classic right there. But, that requires open borders to bring in people for you to play. And I know how opposed she would be to something like that. So, like I said, Rajdeep, no need for you to apologize. Only people should be apologizing is whoever is keeping the water running wherever she's staying. You should have been shut that off.
Would you want some water or are you carrying your own?
Oh, I think I'm fine. Yeah.
You're good? Okay,
yeah.
Great. So, there have been certain tweets, Laura, because you're in India right now. And you know what you've done, and let me say this, it's a feat. Because by the virtue of those tweets, you've done the impossible. You've got the left in India and the right in India come together and being uncomfortable with those tweets. So in that way, there's a lot to thank you because that rarely ever happens in India.
Wow.
But they've come together in the criticism, Laura, of some of your tweets earlier. You've deleted most of them. On what you perceive is your image of India and Indians. Do you regret it? Because you deleted them. So that's why I ask you.
That happens here too. I'll be honest. That happens here too. We bring in the left and right together with discuss of law. Whenever she posts a selfie, whenever, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's, India, just like us.
Some of your tweets earlier, you've deleted most of them. On what you perceive is your image of India and Indians. Do you regret it? Because you deleted them. So that's why I ask you.
What? She deleted those tweets? Now that's fascinating. Now, MAGA, tell me this. What would be the reason for her to delete those tweets? Because they hadn't flued her out to appear? Is that the reasoning? So should I take that justification to all of the other places that she slanders? She get flued out, then all of a sudden she don't want to stand on business no more. Sounds like quite an open grift to me, MAGA. That's what it's. I mean, literally right in front of your face. Right in front of your face.
Well, Twitter deleted some of them. I had no choice but to delete some of them because Twitter actually locked my account, believe it or not. In the aftermath of that, they actually, restricted my account.
Even when they tried to give her a layup of, do you regret those tweets? Well, if I'm being honest, Twitter deleted some of those. I can't take credit for having a new understanding or growing as a person. They took that choice out of my hands. So I am absolutely the person that sat down and posted 50% poop tweets. That was me. That was me. You don't want to know where I was when those came.
December. This is what I'll say. I'm not going to apologize for my comments about the H-1B visa program because my job is to speak for Americans and to stand up for American interests. And our immigration laws have been exploited and abused, and our labor laws have also been exploited and abused. And I'm going to continue being an advocate and a fighter for American workers who are struggling to find employment because they're told they're not the best and the brightest in a field, right?
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there, Laura Loomer, because it's a lot of words coming out of your mouth about H-1Bs and whatnot. I need to know what any of that has to do with running water. Drinking the same water that you bathe and poop in, and it coming out of people's butts. I need to know what you're doing. Sounds like a filibuster right now, which I know how opposed your boy is to the filibuster. So wrap it up.
In Silicon Valley and tech that is dominated by over 70% imported foreign labor, mostly from China and India. What I will say is that I shouldn't have said some of the things that I said in the other tweets, not about H-1B. And I apologize if my remarks offended people. And I'm here in India this week, and I'm spending several days in India where I'm going to be, traveling the country. I'm very excited to be here. Everybody's been, very friendly. I'm very happy to be able to experience India myself. But I will say I don't have hatred in my heart for India or Hindu people. I'm an advocate for Hindus. I speak out against the brutality of Islam that has persecuted millions of Hindus around the world. And I don't come from a place of hatred.
Oh no, huh? You don't come from a place of hatred. So even in a moment when you are trying to capitulate to them holding you to account for your comments, you want to divide the Hindus and the Muslims. Even in a moment where you are trying to bring the people closer to you because of them holding you accountable, you want to set off the Muslims versus the Hindus. Even now. But I don't come from a place of hatred, though. I don't come from a place of hatred. But you know who do? Those Muslims.
You don't find that suspicious?
Now, you know what's so fascinating about this? Because we've seen Laura Loomer throw rocks and hide her hand before when it comes to anti-black racism. Y'all remember when she tried to call out Marjorie Taylor Greene for dropping N's and in the process revealed that was some information that she apparently had for a long time and didn't think it was necessary, the knowledge that a sitting U.S. representative was speaking that way about colleagues. You remember that? That's assuming, of course, what she said is actually true, right? That's taking Laura Loomer at her word, which is, that's, kind of wild. And even more recently, she tried to come to the defense of Byron Donalds and calling out James Fishback's racism. I believe she was about the only one, which I don't know if that's the only one you want to have your back. Honestly, I don't know. That sounds like a Saw movie. I don't know if that's the only one you wanted your back. That sounds like one of those questions they ask on the couch. She came to the defense of Byron Donalds and calling out James Fishback's racism. Now, here's the thing. If you want to call out James Fishback's racism and you want to call out Marjorie Taylor Greene's racism, what you are now revealing to us is that you are well aware of racism and where various lines are set, which makes you then responsible and accountable, dare I say more so, for the habitual line stepping that you do all over your timeline. See, you don't get to just call out other people for free. You just ceded that these are things that you are well aware of. That is fascinating. But apparently now it's all good because you get to travel the country and meet people and learn about the culture. You had no problem slandering out of ignorance. Laura Loomer posing with the majestic Taj Mahal in India. Thoughts? I don't think they're going to put this photo up at the visitor center. I don't. They're not going to. No, they put this one in the back. Ooh, boy, that is, honestly, that should be the image for every bad Yelp review. It should just be that.
He's right,
The irony of an Indiaphobe and Islamophobe posing in front of the Taj Mahal. Well, she told me white Europeans built that. Apparently, Indians brought over white Europeans specifically to build that, and then they went back home. That's what she told me. They went back home along with all the slaves that was in America. They all went home together. Fun fact: less construction was done on the Taj Mahal than on Laura Loomer's face.
Come on. Come on. Hey, scrolling through the chaos on the internet streets. Reese Waters pops up with the truth and receipts. Sharp wit, big laugh, calling nonsense out loud. Turning awkward silence into lessons for the crowd.
Hey, come on, man. You gotta warn her, bro. You gotta warn her, bro, before you go. I think it took longer to complete as well. I think it took longer to complete. Shout out to all the folks that were there uniting on the left and the right in India. How about that? Well, Lord Loomer, if past is prologue when it comes to you, now that you are a cornered animal, you will react quite naturally by lashing out at others. Laura Loomer says she reported Tucker Carlson to the DOJ with hopes of sending him to prison. If I was a foreign agent and doing something I shouldn't be doing, I too would come up with an elaborate story about how the CIA was out to get me. Tucker sounds like someone who's about to be exposed for doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. For months, I've been calling for Tucker Carlson to be investigated for alleged FARA violations. If he's going to be charged, that is fantastic news. I hope Tucker is jailed. I really do. You have no idea how relentless I've been in speaking to GOP reps and even reporting Tucker to law enforcement and the DOJ. I pray my efforts are successful. Who do you think she prays to? Like Voldemort? Leatherface? I've created a list of conservative influencers who I believe are taking money from Iran, Russia, and Qatar. I've attached my supporting evidence. As I told the DOJ, Tucker Carlson isn't the only person who's likely violating FARA. All those traitors deserve jail time. Now that is fascinating. Attacking other people for being foreign agents and working on behalf of foreign governments. Where have I heard that before? Tucker Carlson is a foreign agent. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I knew I had seen that before. I believe that was something that's been said about you quite frequently. And one thing we know about MAGA is every accusation is an admission. And I certainly wouldn't give you the credit for having thought ahead of time for the ramifications of setting such a precedent. So, well done. Honestly, well, hey, no, we letting them fight. I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this goes. And you know what? Tucker actually has been on your helmet as well.
Precious metals company Goldco.
We spent months looking into the gold IRA industrial complex. What we found shocked us. Over years, directed their viewers to gold companies that exploit them. In some cases, these companies were outright scams with outrageous terms and shocking margins.
But then again, I guess what's a little coin grift when it comes to MAGA? You know what I mean? What's a little coin grift between MAGAs on the right wing, right? I know. I definitely understand. Now, you mentioned referring to people over at the DOJ. You mean this DOJ? You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. No one who wants to be peaceful shows up at a protest with a firearm that is loaded with 2 full magazines. From Cash Patel. And what's going on right now? Pro-gun activists hand out free 30-round AR-15 magazines outside the Virginia State Capitol ahead of the likely signature of a bill that would ban the sale of these magazines in the state. Oh, that's a button-up DOJ. That's definitely a button-up DOJ. You know, I believe he said that before he had went into the locker room in Italy and partied with the boys. So, you know, his whole memory's probably flushed at this point. It got flushed that night. along with other various things that the boys get into after dark.
This is egregious work. This is nasty, egregious work.
Now, you did say something about foreign agent. Was it foreign agent working with foreign governments, right? Wasn't that what you said? While Jared Kushner's in the Middle East as we speak. Jared Kushner, one of the U.S. government's chief negotiators in the Middle East, is working to raise $5 billion for his private equity firm from governments in the region, according to the New York Times. His team has already met with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which previously invested $2 billion in the firm. Corruption in broad daylight. Oh, and guess what? It gets worse. Just in, one of the American airmen who lost his life in the KC-135 crash in Iraq has been identified as Major Alex Klinner. He leaves behind a wife, a 2-year-old, and 7-month-old twins. Pretty dark that the family of a U.S. crew member who died has to run a GoFundMe to support his wife and 3 kids while Trump's son-in-law is out raising $5 billion in the Middle East. I would say that is pretty dark. And I would say darker still, I bet he don't raise what Shiloh Hendricks did. I bet he don't. If they just did the GoFundMe just on fresh, pure racism, give and go. Fresh, pure racism, it would clear. It would definitely clear. Oh no, it's dark. It is extremely dark. This dark. Hey. Not that dark.
Brother,
Laura Loomer told people in India that she's constantly having phone calls and meetings with President Trump. Loomer claims President Trump relies on her to determine who's loyal and who's disloyal within the conservative movement, and says she's compiled a list of influencers who will be sent to prison for acting as traitors and taking foreign money.
I'm giving him information that is going to be beneficial to him, helping him identify bad actors in the country, bad actors in his administration, informing him of people who are bad-mouthing him, and also making him aware of issues pertinent to the base.
Just a quick moment of reflection on who we're referring to. Laura Loomer is prohibited from purchasing or possessing firearms under federal law, specifically 18 U.S.C., which bars gun ownership for individuals who've been involuntarily committed to a mental institution. I would say even more so, I believe the mental institution just threw her back. They say she gonna make everybody else sick. No, isolate the patient. She needs a solo facility. That's what she needs. Help me with this. Why don't we bring in Black MAGA here? Because this is Racist of the Week after all. Help me with this. Because you guys love to bend over backwards to try and explain away Donald Trump's relationship to race. You willing to do the same for Laura Loomer? Are you willing to go down that road for Laura Loomer? Because we got reams of tweets. Did somebody say ream? Are you still talking about poop? Oh, no, okay, tweets. Okay, never mind. My bad. Now help me out with this, Black MAGA. You guys will make excuses for Trump, but Laura Loomer left the line behind on the operating room floor. And she apparently has his ear about sensitive matters. And I ain't heard from y'all not one time. So answer me this. Do you believe that she's lying when she talks about her relationship and influence to Trump? Because that's something else I haven't heard from y'all either. That's something y'all been real. You know what I mean? That's what you scared of, Black MAGA. You know what I mean? I don't understand what you're scared of.
you smoke crack, don't you?
I'm sorry. Did you just ask what somebody is scared of with regards to Laura Loomer? And then you ask, what is Black MAGA scared of? I mean, that's like the resistible force and the movable object.
What do you mean by that?
And then there's also this, Laura Loomer, a track APAC of Donald Trump with $230 million of independent expenditures and campaign contributions received from pro-Israel interest groups. That whole foreign interest and foreign government thing is really going to do a lot of heavy lifting. It really is going to do. That's tough. That's a tough one there. Yeah, Tucker, I don't. It's Laura Loomer. What do you want me to do? Say what now?
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Who you know in Iran? What, you got cousins out there or something? What happened? You know people on vacation? That ain't never been a problem I had. I can tell you that ain't, you know what I mean? If I had a buddy that said he was moving to Iran or Russia or somewhere like that, say, hey man, just DM me when you get back. You know what I mean? That's where that conversation would go.
They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power. Unlike a lot of people commenting on U.S. politics and global affairs, I have only one loyalty, and that's the United States, and have never acted against it. Its interests are the only interests I care about because I'm from here and I have a lot of kids.
I definitely thought you were going to go with, I care about kids or I want to secure a future for my kids, but I didn't think you was just going to say I have a lot of kids. You've been living that Elon Musk life? Yeah, you've been living the Elon Musk life? I tell you, we're gonna have to apologize to Sean Kemp and Antonio Cromartie after how they were treated, because y'all out here bragging on stuff you used to slander them with. Come on.
So that's not a concern. I've also never taken money from anybody. Don't need it, don't want it, and that's provable. And moreover, it's my job to talk to everybody all the time and try and figure out what's happening around the world. That's literally what I do for a living, and I'm not going to stop doing that.
That is interesting. We done taken Let Them Fight International now, haven't we? We done taken it. Do we have people to cover that? Make sure we got some correspondents to cover Let Them Fight wherever it goes with the MAGAs. That's wild.
Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah!
You know what else is interesting, Tucker? All of this is being drummed up in the immediate aftermath of you going on Piers Morgan and savaging Trump.
Sure. It doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with this specific country. It has to do with any country that might be leading us around, particularly to our destruction, and putting its interests before ours. Our leaders can never agree to that, period, because it is the opposite of America first. So, whatever Trump said about me, I didn't take it personally. I suspect he doesn't really mean it because I've always gotten along with him for 30 years. I expect I always will. But on this one specific question, America first, we can say this was not America first. This was at least America second.
Yeah, I saw it. Man, you did Trump. You did Trump worse than the Indians did Laura Loomer. You know what I mean? That was a hit 'em up. What they did. Yours was an ether. You know what I mean? It's just yours wasn't either. I saw what you did. Yeah. By the way, to India, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all hitting me up and bringing me in You Senate International. I don't know that we've given off race of the week. We've gone. I don't know if we ever paid international shipping for that, but shout out to y'all for that. That's a solid job. It makes me think about the fact that she had to go all the way out there in order to get her comeuppance. We need a slur for Vivek Ramaswamy types that lack the spine to say this.
From what I can see, you're brazenly racist and Islamophobic.
That part right there. That part. Hey, if y'all want to know how it got so bad, check out Ohio. Check out Ohio. Matter of fact, you'll love it because he down bad out there. He down bad. Oh no, he gonna get a dedicated video. No, we gonna write to Ohio. Believe me. Oh no, I go there often. I know how to get there and where to stay. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Y'all hear that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's the unraveling of the MAGA coalition. And this month, we letting them fight. So look out for all of that merch hitting thepeoplesgetup.com. Now, this time around, I come to you in the spirit of Unsung. Y'all remember that show on TV One about all the groups that didn't get their just desserts? They were really scraping the barrel by the end of that show. I think they made one on me. My work in the shower. I be singing in the shower. I go by Regis Watterson. And I got Regis Watterson. Look out for Regis Watterson. I think it's season 24. I'm on there.
La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum.
Now, last time I sat here, I gave a shout out to all the people whose hard work makes this channel go. But I also want to give a shout out to the research squad. Did you know we have a research squad? Shout out to all of you guys. And if you would like to be a part of it, hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. But I also want to shout out you, all the people whose actions help propel this channel onto the screens and into the laps of so many people all across America. The people that watch the video all the way to the end, the people that hit the like button, the ones that hit the side of the screen during the premiere, the people that share the videos, all the subscribers, all the members, the people who write comments, and the people that engage with other people in the comment section, as well as the people that follow me on all of my other socials. I'm at Reese Waters on just about everything. There are so many people whose efforts I appreciate that I may not have an opportunity to thank. And just because I haven't already doesn't mean I won't. That goes for you too, Hanukkah Claus. I remember. Greetings to Reese Waters and the Mod Squad and Collected Fam. It's me, Top Cop, aka Hanukkah Claus, the chubby elf of Hanukkah with his reindeer Nala. She's of the culture, sending out holiday greetings and drinking from the glory of my FAFO mug and adorned in my Who Raised Y'all festive tee. It's an honor to tell all who ask regarding these gifts about the good works this channel does, and I know will continue to do. Love to all of you. And right back at you. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate the support, love, and just the time that you guys shower onto this particular channel. And I chose Unsung because coming out of the White House Black History Month with the State of the Union immediately afterwards with no acknowledgement whatsoever, the treatment of Jesse Jackson, and the most notable thing coming from this administration during Black History Month being the Obama memes. I think a lot of us know what it feels like to be unsung. And for us, you got to ask how many years we're going to move this country and remain a ghost. It's like a special kind of magic trick that we do to be the most visible people in the room, the ones that get watched in the corner store, the ones they lock their car doors for, and yet be completely unseen. We're the architects of the culture the world breathes like oxygen, but nobody ever asks who built the house. We're the rhythm in the song everybody's humming, the slang on the tongue of a girl across the ocean who's never met a soul from my neighborhood. Actually, you know what? my neighborhood was pretty milquetoast. I'll be honest. My neighborhood was unseasoned. I'll be honest. Let's go with y'all neighborhood. A woman across the ocean who's never met a soul from your neighborhood. We are the trend, the aesthetic, the vibe. But when the credits roll, our names are written in water. It's like being a foundation. You're under the floorboards, holding up the whole structure, but people walk all over you, dance on you. They feel safe because of you, but they never look down to say thank you. They just admire the view from the window that we helped frame. We've sat in boardrooms where our idea was a suggestion until a man with a different tan said it louder, and then suddenly it was innovation. In fact, I think this administration has been built on dismantling everything Obama did and then putting together something similar, but way worse. I've seen our history tucked into the back of the book, a footnote in a chapter written by someone who wasn't even there. It's exhausting being a masterpiece that everyone wants to own, but nobody wants to credit. But here's the thing about being unrecognized. Just because you don't see the wind doesn't mean it isn't moving the trees. We've been the pulse of this world since the first heartbeat. You can look away. You can keep your eyes fixed on the ceiling. You can pretend the light just happened to turn on by itself. But we all know who flipped the switch. We've always known. We see you.